This show was intended as a tribute to Deborah, to her lifetime of work. I spent a lot of time looking at Deborah's work at her home, and I spent a lot of time just trying to create an inventory of the work. If this had been a museum show, they would spend 3 years or 4 years on this, researching, doing a deep dive, and there would be many people working on it. So this was a singular approach from me, and it was an act of discovery because I was familiar with a fair amount of Deborah's work, but what became immediately apparent to me was how prolific she was. And these paintings, and particularly when she started painting on wood panels, which happened, pretty late 80s, early 90s, there's a lot of time involved in these paintings. I mean, Jim prepared the panels for her, but once she received the wood panel, they were sealed, and then there were multiple layers of traditional gesso techniques from hundreds of years ago. Many layers sanded in between, and then there was like a thin wash put on, and then there was a general sketch, and there's multiple layers and glazing of paint beneath all these paintings. Some of these paintings literally took months. And I recognized this was not all the work, because she had done numerous commissions throughout her painting career, and she'd also sold a fair amount of work. So what I was seeing in the house was a portion of her output. That was very impressive. The sense of discovery and the evolution of the work from the earlier paintings up to her death, you could see the work was continuing to evolve, and she was continuing to push herself in new directions. And this is, part when she's doing this, where it's becoming much more autobiographical, where she's referencing her home life and specific kind of, kind of a reference to the house, the original house. But this piece is called Undertowed, and it was inspired by John Irving's book, The World According to Garp. Emma was her only child and very precious. She was like a daredevil. She had this rocking horse. I don't remember how old she was. She was pretty young, but she would stand up on that rocking horse, and we could not figure out how she could go back and forth so forcefully and not fling herself off into the wall, but it was just amazing to watch. Anxieties expressed as a parent. A quote from her artistic statement. There are many recurring themes throughout the history of art which I have tried to interpret in light of my own experience. The paintings are invented spaces where I manipulate time and perspectives to accommodate my thoughts concerning a wide variety of subjects. I paint as my mind remembers, or as you might experience a dream. I strive to make the paintings a place where memory and experience are juxtaposed in order to create a new realm, while hopefully leaving them open enough to allow the viewer to bring their own life and imagination to viewing them. In Frankenstein, an ominous swirling cloud formation suggests an approaching storm that will cleanse the polluting factories with their belching smokestacks, fouling the landscape below. Comeuppance features a tidal wave descending upon the shores of imaginary Manhattan, where various periods of civilization, represented through iconic classical and contemporary architecture, are about to be wiped clean from the island, suggesting we have but a temporary foothold on the land we occupy, and nature will ultimately prevail. Commissioned by a private collector, this stunning work was inspired by the 15th century Venetian painter Vittore Carpaccio's painting, The Dream of St. Ursula, and represents not only her technical mastery of the painting medium, but a climactic culmination of all the rich and evocative elements that make her work so special. While Deborah's time on this earth was transitory, as the empty bed in her painting suggests, she will live on through her paintings and the wonderful accomplished body of work that she has left behind for us all to enjoy.